What is up, everyone? I am Jack Slater, aka the Comic Outlaw. Yes, I'm back, and we're bringing the final sacrifice, number 7 of Salvation Run. And somebody has a bit of blood on his hands. Actually, if you're a villain, you have quite a bit, if you know what I'm saying. But we're going to find out particularly why Luthor is cursed with this picture. So let's carry on. As everyone's being invaded by these parademons, Captain Cold's wondering how the hell he got in this situation in the first place, and he just wants to get the hell out. He misses Central City, and I don't blame him. Being attacked by parademons, monsters, and all kinds of ugly things would piss me off too. But meanwhile, there's wars going on between every villain and all the parademons. And basically this was an experiment to see who will survive and who would serve Darkseid best. Sort of a test from Apocalypse. A very messed up test, but that's the way Darkseid rolls. And you can see the Joker, he's having a good time. You know, this is basically Joker's element here, and I love how he just tricks this doofus, takes his gun, and blam. You gotta love Mr. J. And as the war is going on and these villains are going back and forth, you see the rogues are grouped together doing what they do best, behaving like a team, and taking out the parademons just like a team. This is what I love about the rogues. They're very cohesive. They understand what it is to do business and to survive. And to survive, sometimes you gotta work together. And as they're coming to the complex where Lex has been building this portal, evidently, more creatures and more things keep spawning up everywhere, making this fight seemingly impossible. But the villains keep fighting. They keep fighting because Luthor is promising them a way out. He just needs a few minutes, a little bit of time. But there might not be enough time, for these things just keep coming out of the woodwork. Different lizards, creatures, parademons, weird looking dress guys, you name it, everything's coming out to kill every villain possible. This was not the paradise they were promised, if you know what I'm saying. But of course, Luthor rounds up the scientists, he starts rounding up everyone he needs, and Catwoman's there kicking it, waiting for her opportunity to get the hell out too. Now there's Vandal Savage, and all of his women are starting to turn against him, realizing they've been tricked or they've been used or manipulated. And Savage just plays it off like, I'm the man. You can all love me. I can father all your children. And after they realize they've been played, they basically beat the hell out of Savage. And I mean beat the hell out of him. It's a good thing he's immortal, because he probably wouldn't have been coming back otherwise. Especially with Cheetah clawing him out. But anyways, after they're about to take Savage out for good, the other villains appear and they ask if he's interested in getting the hell out of here, which of course at this point he is, along with the rest of the girls. Luthor sees the value in Savage, is probably why he's coming to pick him up. I don't think Luthor's doing this out of the kindness of his heart. He also brings the device over because this is the supposed quote-unquote safe zone. I don't think he's really a safe zone. I think Savage was just smart enough to move his camp a little further behind theirs. That way they got attacked first, and then, you know, they would have to go through them eventually to get to Savage. But all these little creatures are dead. Nothing left but the parademons, and they're looking for the rest of the villains. They're out for blood. This battalion's out to destroy all. And this is basically a test from Darkseid. He's either going to be the parademons or the villains, and we're going to find out who survives. Now, as these scientists are working overtime, there's Dr. Savannah right there. And of course, he's talking to Abracadabra, because Abracadabra evidently doesn't use magic, it's science from the future. I think he's from like the 31st century or something like that. But anyways, everyone's putting their brain power together. And out of nowhere comes Gorilla Grodd. Apparently he survived all his wounds as well as the fall. The gorilla's not in a good mood, and he just wants to go home too. Now keep in mind, and I keep saying this, Luthor's not doing this out of the kindness of his heart. He knows that he has a favor that he holds over all of them. And of course, Grodd is actually looking for the Joker, considering that the Joker was the one that kind of pushed him off the cliff after he was shot. In a very funny way, I might add. But of course, Luthor stops him saying that we need every man possible right now, especially if we get attacked again. But Grodd's really not having any of it, and he goes to tear Joker's throat out. But Joker is saved by the parademon as they found them and started blasting at them. And of course, everyone turns their attention to Darkseid's advancing group. The rogues, everyone, all the C-listers, the B-listers, it doesn't matter. They're all fighting to survive. They're all using whatever magic, whatever guns, whatever missiles, whatever psychic, platonic energy. They're throwing ice balls, whatever they can, to survive. And certain villains are doing better than others, obviously. Luthor gathers together a certain group of villains, people that he specifically needs. And this goes back to how crafty Luthor is, you know. He puts in the plug, you know, he does a nice big show. And of course he has to give a speech on how awesome he is because he's Lex Luthor. And he does that moment where he plugs it in and basically pulls a Clark Griswold and is like, yes, I have the power. And it turns on the way home and the villains start cheering because they know that it's time to get the hell out of here. And of course, every man for himself at this point. They start running through the portal. You know, just leaving whoever gets left behind stays behind, basically. And Luthor has to go into this bunker where he's had to sacrifice certain villains to actually make the machine work. And unfortunately, they won't live at all. Basically, they'll end up dying. They're sacrificing themselves in order for the other villains to get home. And this is where you get to the core of Luthor's personality, that he believes that he is a hero and that he makes the necessary sacrifices, and that he had to sacrifice a few in order to save the many. And that's why he thinks that he's a good guy, because he makes the necessary sacrifices that Superman wouldn't, that Green Lantern wouldn't, that Flash wouldn't. And that, in his eyes, makes him more of a hero than anyone else. And of course, the Joker's out doing his thing. This kid has been just basically a little dick to him, saying he's going to skin him and this and that. And Joker decides to put him in his place and give him a nice little pimp slap. Now, Luthor, of course, has to give a speech to the parademons, and the parademons don't even give a damn, but Luthor has to let them know, I win. I'm Lex Luthor. I beat you all. I am the man. And just true grandiose Luthor fashion, you know. That's why you gotta love the big bald guy. And then as they come swooping down, he blows up the portal along with the villains that were strapped to the machine. Bing, bang, boom. They're all dead. Luthor won. And some of the villains are back with a sacrifice of about 6. I barely know any of their names. I think one of them was Time Warp. But there's all kinds of death, destruction, fire, and mayhem. Basically the trading card of any true villain. And they escaped. They escaped this prison that they were sent to wrongfully, I might add. And of course, there's certain villains that were left there. In every situation, there's always fallen soldiers. In every situation, sacrifices do have to be made. And if you're the one that makes them, does that make you a hero? Or does that make you a villain? And speaking of heroes, someone was left behind. A prisoner for Apocalypse. A new toy for Darkseid to play with. And his fate will be determined in a final crisis. But that's another story for another time. And I'll catch you on the flip side. Yeah.